Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Asahi Shimbun, Yemen's Houthi rebels announced on July 13th that they launched ballistic missiles and drones attacking Abha International Airport in southern Saudi Arabia. The Saudi-led coalition, which supports the Yemeni interim government, reported that they successfully intercepted the missile. Prior to the incident, the Yemeni interim government announced it had struck the runway of the Sana'a International Airport, which is currently under Houthi control. The Houthis had subsequently warned of retaliation against Saudi Arabia. Although tensions between Saudi Arabia and the Houthis had eased in recent years, a Houthi spokesperson stated on July 13th that the de-escalation phase is over. This marks the first Houthi attack on Saudi Arabia since 2022, amidst Iran's de facto blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Saudi Arabia has increasingly relied on the Red Sea to export its crude oil. Experts warn that if the escalating conflict drives the Houthis to blockade the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which connects the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea, Saudi crude oil exports could be severely disrupted, posing a significant threat to the global economy. According to Al Jazeera, Lebanese and Israeli delegations have resumed talks at the United States Embassy in Rome to discuss implementing a U.S.-brokered framework agreement aimed at ending the conflict. The deal, originally discussed in Washington, D.C., calls for a progressive Israeli troop withdrawal, the deployment of Lebanese soldiers to the south, and the disarmament of armed groups. However, expectations for immediate progress remain low as hostilities continue. Hezbollah has rejected disarmament, while Israel insists its forces will remain in southern Lebanon as long as Hezbollah remains armed. At the start of the Rome meetings, Lebanese President Joseph A.M. Aoun instructed his delegation to demand the immediate withdrawal of Israeli troops from two designated southern zones. The implementation strategy involves a phased withdrawal where Lebanese forces deploy zone by zone. This pilot project is currently being coordinated by the U.S. Military Central Command, CENTCOM. Italy offered to host the talks to facilitate a genuine ceasefire, hoping Rome can serve as a venue for peace. According to Lebanon's health ministry, the war has claimed over 4,000 Lebanese lives and displaced more than 1 million people since March. According to a report by DW, Ukraine has targeted another 11 Russian vessels in the Sea of Azov in a series of overnight drone strikes. Kyiv's drone forces commander, Robert Bravdy, stated that the targeted fleet included 5 oil tankers, 5 cargo vessels, and a tugboat. The operation aimed to damage Russia's shadow fleet and disrupt fuel logistics to Russian-controlled Crimea. This attack follows a massive strike on Saturday, in which Kyiv claimed to have hit 21 Russian oil tankers. Ukraine claims to have struck a total of 116 Russian ships over a 9-day period. In response to the growing threat to shipping, Russia's Agriculture Ministry announced that it is working with relevant agencies to establish alternative shipping routes for grain exports, though Moscow insists its export capabilities and domestic food supply will remain unaffected. According to CBS News, New York has become the first state in the U.S. to enact a statewide moratorium on new hyperscale data centers. Governor Kathy Hochul signed an executive order on Tuesday establishing a 1-year pause on environmental permits for these facilities. Hyperscale data centers, which house thousands of servers, typically consume 50 or more megawatts of power and require vast amounts of water for cooling. Governor Hochul stated that the temporary ban is necessary to protect residents from rising utility bills and to prevent the depletion of natural resources. The pause is driven by an unprecedented surge in demand for data center development, largely fueled by artificial intelligence and other intensive computing operations. During this 1-year period, the state's Department of Public Service will work to create consistent environmental and utility guidelines. Once these official standards are finalized and implemented, the temporary construction ban will be lifted. According to a report from Xinhuanet, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, announced on Tuesday that it will carry out a 1.4 trillion yuan, approximately 205.91 billion US dollars, outright reverse repo operation on Wednesday. The move is designed to maintain ample liquidity within the national banking system. The central bank specified that the operation will be conducted with a fixed quantity through interest rate bidding, featuring a 6-month maturity period. As 900 billion yuan worth of 6-month outright reverse repos are set to mature this July, Wednesday's operation constitutes an increased rollover of these instruments. Outright reverse repo operations were introduced by the central bank in October 2024 as part of a strategic expansion of China's monetary policy toolkit. These operations, conducted monthly with a tenor of no more than 1 year, complement existing liquidity management tools such as temporary repos, temporary reverse repos, and the strategic buying and selling of treasury bonds. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.